Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here. This is it. We finally done it. We are at the end of the classic difficulty walkthrough for The Evil Within 2. Easily one of the hardest things I've ever done in a video game. In a lot of ways, it was harder than Akumu mode from the first game, but in a lot of ways it was also not as hard. And I'm going to kind of try to explain some of those differences during this video. So first thing I'm going to do, in Chapter 14, I picked up a key, so I'm going to come to Sebastian's safe room and cash in that key for some, it looks like I got gunpowder. Keep in mind that's always randomized, so every time you die and have to redo this, you'll end up with something different. I'm going to craft a syringe, I'm going to craft a shock bolt, and then I'm going to craft some sniper rifle rounds. So you might be wondering why am I doing that instead of crafting shotgun shells? The reason is for the fight that we're about to get to, the game will give you a fair amount of shotgun shells, but it also turns out it will give you a fair amount of sniper rifle rounds as well. I find that the sniper rifle, so I went most of this game without ever using the sniper rifle. It turns out to be very handy for the last two bosses, so that's why I'm going to try to kind of stock up on as much ammo for that weapon as I can. Now, we are out of saves. We have officially used all 7 of our allotted saves, which means we have to do chapters 15, 16, and 17 all in one go. The good news here is that chapter 15 is by far the most difficult, and once you learn the approach to this, because what's going to happen is we're going to have to go through 2 stealth sections right here, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to get through these. Once I discovered this method, I never again had a problem with this. So the first time the first 5 times I tried chapter 15, I just kept dying because I couldn't figure out the right way to stealth kill these guys. I finally figured out a good way. So first things first, you're going to start off in front of this van and you're going to see 2 Lost coming towards you from the other side. So I'm going to shimmy around to this side of the van. Now you'll see that guy off in the distance. I'm going to wait for him to turn around. Then I'm going to transition to the next corner. And now you can see on this side, there's the other guy. He's going to go investigate where I was just previously standing. I'm going to sneak up behind him and get the first of 4 kills. Now you'll notice in my inventory, I have an axe. And the axe is an instant kill on these guys. So if you are ever trying to stealth kill one of them and it turns around at the last second and sees you, use the axe if you have one. These guys, believe it or not, they're faster than regular Lost. So a lot of the times in the game, what I would do if an enemy saw me, I would just run away, hide, and wait for the enemy to lose interest, and then I would go back to pursuing the stealth kill. You can't do that as well with these guys. They're just too fast. If they see you and if you try to run away, they're just going to be on you very quickly, and it's very annoying. So I highly recommend that you do this with full stealth. It's very hard. You don't, and the most important thing is that you don't want to waste ammo on these guys. So I think I ended up wasting 1 shotgun shell during the second encounter, which sucked, but luckily it was only 1. So I was, in the end I was okay with that. But here we go. We're going to stealth kill this guy now. This is the 3rd guy in the area, and the 4th and final guy is going to be off in the building. And he's pretty easy to take down as well. You'll notice there's a fair amount of supplies lying around. You might want to just save most of those for after you clear the area, because then obviously you can run around and it's a bit easier to pick those up. And so just so you can know what to expect from this, there's going to be this encounter here, which is 4 enemies. Then there's going to be an encounter with, I think, 6 enemies. And then there's going to be a mini boss fight. It's not really a full-fledged boss fight, but it's still worth, calling a boss fight. It can be kind of tough, but I'm going to show you some strategies that ended up working really well for me. I actually killed it a lot faster than I thought I would. And then that will end chapter 15, and then that will lead us into chapter 16, where we fight Myra, who is the final boss of the game. In my opinion, it's one of the worst boss fights ever created. I just don't find it fun. I don't find it entertaining. It's just something we have to get through. I think there was, in my opinion, they should have ended it in chapter 15 with the boss after fighting the sadist and the keepers and Laura. I thought that would have been a good spot to end it. Or they could have just, ended it without a boss fight. That's kind of what they did in the first game. The boss fight in the first game, a lot of people hated it It wasn't even really a boss fight. It was just kind of a scripted thing. They could have done something similar here. I don't know. I don't care for the final boss fight. It's not very satisfying to get through. But nevertheless, we do have to get through it to beat this, so that's exactly what we're going to do. And so now I'm going to run around and pick up these items. Now again, remember, I didn't waste supplies to craft shotgun shells because there are shotgun shells here that you can pick up. So instead I used those supplies to make some sniper rifle rounds because those are going to end up being really helpful against not only the mini-boss but also in the Myra boss fight. But yeah, so obviously, because I'm recording this commentary, that means I'm done. I finished Classic Difficulty. It is one of the most challenging things that I've ever done in a video game. But the problem is, it's challenging for all of the wrong reasons. It's not fun. The reason that I make hardest difficulty walkthroughs is because I like the challenge. I like playing games on the hardest difficulty because it really pushes me to kind of come up with these new innovative strategies and to think outside of the box. It's almost like it feels like a puzzle almost. You can't just approach a game on the hardest difficulty the same way you would on normal. It's just a completely different experience most of the time, and that's why I really enjoy it. And so what you're gonna want to do here is just follow what I'm doing. I'm gonna stealth kill this guy first, and then the rest of it's gonna be pretty simple. But here's the thing: the classic difficulty, it does not it challenges you, but not as it should. A game should challenge you. I don't know how to necessarily explain it, but I guess I would say that a good challenge not only pushes you to your limits, but it makes you, it ultimately gives you a satisfying experience, and it leaves you wanting more. It makes you feel like you actually accomplished something after beating it, and it makes you want to continue pushing on, and it's just this odd experience, and that's something that I really got with Akumu mode in the first Evil Within. That was one of the hardest things I'd ever done in a game, but when I finished it, I felt thoroughly challenged, but I also felt thoroughly satisfied, and I just had this craving to keep playing the game. I wanted to get all of the achievements. I wanted to do everything the game had to offer. Classic difficulty does not give me that same feeling. Classic difficulty just makes me glad that I'm done with the game, and I don't really ever want to pick it up again. Now I am going to pick it up just because I'm loyal to the franchise and I do want to get all of the achievements, but in no way do I feel the same after beating this than I do after beating Akumu mode on the first game. Classic difficulty just left me with a bad taste in my mouth, and I felt like the developers could have done a much better job. I don't think they needed to get rid of Akumu. I think that was a bad decision. I think that having limited saves is just a terrible call. It just removes all fun from the game because it reaches a point where it just tests your patience, which can be really annoying, but that's kind of what it comes down to, is how patient can you be. But, you know, if you're somebody who wants to go for the highest difficulty, whether it's because of the achievement or just because it's the ultimate challenge, then you're going to have to do this. But anyway, let's get back to the gameplay. So I'm going to use my harpoon bolt to get a headshot right here. So I'm going to wait for him to stop jerking around, and there you go. Instant headshot, instant kill. Now I'm going to do the same thing on his buddy right here, but you're going to see I actually missed the headshot. So I'm going to try to take him down really quickly before he's able to get his bearings back, and I ended up missing, and I shot the explosive barrel. Now, luckily, that was not supposed to happen, so hopefully that doesn't happen for you, but luckily the other enemies didn't care. Because I shot a silenced weapon, the explosion doesn't bother them, but you're going to see just how strong these enemies are, or just how weak the explosions are. So here comes this guy. He's still alive after taking that full explosion, and not only that, but this is just bullshit. He runs right up to me, and that always happens. So this is where I was talking about, where I ended up using the shotgun shell, but I only had to use one because then I could stomp him. But in an earlier attempt at this, what I did was I threw a bottle next to the red barrel, and I lured like 3 of them over there. And then when they were all close to the barrel, I shot it, and I thought, oh, that explosion is easily going to kill all 3 of them. It did not. And in fact, when they started running at me, I just unloaded on them with my pistol, and I still didn't kill them. For some reason, if you try to kill these guys with anything other than a harpoon bolt headshot or a stealth kill, they just eat up ammo like crazy, and it's completely bullshit. It's completely unfair, but that is classic difficulty for you. So what you saw me do right there ultimately was a mistake. I did not mean to miss the headshot, obviously, and I didn't mean to shoot the red barrel. Those things happened, and like I said in an earlier video, you just have to adapt. You have to change your gameplay based on what happens. You might go in with a plan, but that plan can easily change based on the events that occur, and you just have to make those changes on the fly. And that's partly why I love doing hardest difficulties, because I feel like you don't really get those on the spot thoughts, those on the spot challenges in regular difficulties. But you know, it also comes with the fact that you have to go through all of the torture, because classic difficulty was really hard. Now, these two guys, I don't know why, but they never turn around. They just stand there. Unless they hear you or see you, they will never move. So those two guys you're going to want to save for last, stealth kill them, and it's over. Those are the first two areas complete. Now all we have to do is we have to fight the mini-boss, then we have to fight Myra, and then Chapter 17 is really just kind of a... it's kind of a gimme. It's not a very difficult chapter at all. It's kind of a joke, actually. Chapter 17 is mostly cinematic. And again, I ended up skipping the cutscenes in this walkthrough, so you're not going to see a lot of the story play out. I'm contemplating, you know, at a later time, maybe in December, I'll come back and do like a Let's Play for this, or a walkthrough on Nightmare difficulty, and I'll treat that walkthrough like a normal walkthrough. I'll include all the cutscenes and the story so that we can kind of talk about the story in the comment section. But for this specific walkthrough, I felt like cutscenes would just make it harder to record, so that's why I didn't do it. Now right here, I hate doing this, but I'm going to have to craft some supplies on the fly because I need them to fight the mini-boss. Now, the mini-boss is going to have one weak spot, and I find it really hard to hit the weak spot with my pistol because it moves around really fast. So ultimately what I'm going to use is the sniper rifle, and believe it or not, it's incredibly effective. It kills him a lot quicker than a pistol would. So anyway, all I'm doing here is I'm trying to analyze the map to see if maybe I could find a glitch in the system, like a good vantage point to fight this boss to where maybe I could shoot it, but it wouldn't be able to hurt me. But I couldn't find one. As far as I'm concerned, this boss, you do have to fight it completely legit. There's no little tricks you can pull to make the fight easier. This boss is really cool too. I like the way he looks. It's kind of a fun fight, but it does feel like it's just kind of dragging on a bit. But anyway, you'll see right there he gets caught in that fire, and that's kind of your hint on how you do this. So you'll see a red barrel right here. I'm going to wait for him to run at me. You should see a red spot on its chest. That's your target. That's its weak spot. So right here, I'm going to shoot the red barrel, and he is about to hit me once. And the only reason he hit me there was because I got foolish. I stood my ground, and I thought I'd be able to pull off that shot. That was my mistake. So it turns out the best way to fight this guy is actually very similar to the Stefano boss fight. So if you remember, during the Stefano boss fight, he would teleport at you, and when he got really close, he would stop for a second, and then he would swing his knife at you, and in that opportunity, you could turn around and shoot him. You're going to actually do a very similar thing here. I didn't realize this right away, so right here I'm trying to use my pistol. But what I end up discovering is a really easy way to kill this guy is to let him get close to you, and then at the last second, right when he gets within striking distance, he'll stop, and then he'll swing at you. And in that moment, that's when you run away, turn around, and then while he's swinging at you, that's when you can shoot him. So right here, you're going to see he stomps at me, I run away, I turn around, and unfortunately, sometimes he'll start moving really quickly again, so in those instances, you won't be able to shoot him. But that's what I'm going to do in the rest of this. So I'm just going to try to let him get close, and then right before he strikes at me, I'm going to turn, run away, and then turn around and shoot him. So right here, you see he strikes at me, I'm long gone, I turn around, and I hit him with an explosive bolt. Now I actually missed that one, and it landed off in the distance. Now it is actually going to hurt him later on, so what I'm going to do is I'm purposely going to lure him over there where I just shot that explosive bolt, and I will still be able to use it to cause him some damage. Obviously, it would have been easier, though, had I hit my target, but you just got to kind of You got to do things on the fly. Alright, so I'm still trying to use my pistol. It hasn't yet registered with me that there might be a better weapon to use. And there you see my explosive bolt just damaged him. And so now I'm going to really, right here, he's going to be stunned. And I'm just going to try to shoot him as many times as I can in the weak spot. Notice how I am refraining from using my shotgun. I am trying to save all of the shotgun ammo I can for the final boss fight. So if you can help it, you don't want to use the shotgun against this boss here. And at this point, I've used all the traps. I've used all the oil puddles. I've used all of the red barrels in the area. So now I strictly have to use my guns. And so I'm going to run over here. And over here is some shotgun ammo and some sniper rifle ammo. Quite a bit of sniper rifle ammo, actually. And so now I'm going to start using the sniper rifle. And this is where what I was talking about earlier really helps. So you'll see right here, I'm going to let him get close. He's going to stop, and then I'm going to turn and run away. While he swings at you, he'll stop for a quick second, and that's when you're going to shoot. And it works really well. So again, I'm going to let him get close to me. And then at the last second, I'm going to make a run for it. And then while he's swinging at me, I'll turn around and shoot him. So right here, turn around. He swings at me, and then I shoot him. And you'll see that that actually kills him. So the sniper rifle, so right there I shot an extra shot because I didn't think he was dead. The sniper rifle does a lot of damage. My pistol did a fair amount, the traps did a fair amount, and the explosive bolts obviously helped as well. But the sniper rifle ultimately finished the job, and I think that was what was the most effective, was because I shot him from so close. And obviously the sniper rifle allows you to be a bit more accurate than the pistol because you can really get your scope right in there. But that's it, guys. That is the mini boss fight. Notice how I did that entire thing without using my shotgun because I'm trying to save all of the shotgun ammo for the final boss. So for the final boss, you're not really going to need any bolts. I think I go into the fight and I never used a single bolt. Or I guess an explosive bolt would help. I think maybe I do use one explosive bolt now that I think about it. But those are just about it. So harpoon bolts and explosive bolts, those are the two that if you have, they can help you in the boss fight. But anything else like the smoke bolts or the shock bolts, freeze bolts, those aren't really going to do anything. So the most important weapons you want to try to bring into the final fight is the pistol, the shotgun, the sniper rifle, and then explosive bolts and harpoon bolts. And there is going to be one more chance to go to Sebastian's save room before you take on the boss. But just to kind of give you some perspective as to the difficulty of these levels, it took me about 7 tries to get through Chapter 15 without messing up. Chapter 16, what you're seeing right now, I got through this on my very first try. So it only took me 1 try to kill Myra. You'll see that I did actually take quite a bit of damage, but luckily I have a full supply of syringes, so I was able to always heal myself. But it is still a tough fight. Now, most of the time when I did take damage, it was my fault. Her attacks are really easy to dodge. There was just a couple instances where I got careless and obviously paid the price. But yeah, so Chapter 15, like I said, it took me quite a few tries to actually learn how to get through it. But then Chapter 16 and 17, I did them both on my first try. And they really aren't too challenging. Now right here, I failed to realize there was a giant hole in the floor, and I ran right into it. And then I ran over here because this just looked like a spot where they might hide a key, but I ended up not finding one. I think, if I remember correctly, in this entire playthrough, I only got 6 keys, and I think in total there's 32. So you can see that the keys really aren't necessary. Obviously, I did pick up 6 of them, so they did help out, but I didn't really ever go out of my way to get the keys. The only keys I ever picked up were the ones that were directly in my path, the ones that are like impossible to miss. I never once went out of my way searching for a key. Now, on your way to Myra, on your way to the final boss, you're going to see various resonance flashbacks. And at first I thought you had to stop and listen to them, but it turns out you can just run by them without a problem. So that's what I'm going to do from here on out because I'm not including the story in this walkthrough. Also, you know, if you look at the time right now, we're about 20 minutes into this video. So that means that if you die in the Myra boss fight, you're going to have to redo at least 20 minutes of gameplay. So any moments where you can skip, it's wise to skip them. Otherwise, you're just going to waste a bunch of time. So right here, I don't feel like stopping and listening to these conversations because, you know, if I die, I don't want to have to do that every single time. So I'm just going to, you know, I'm going to skip past the sections that I can skip past. And if you see this building off in the distance, you'll see the big hole in the wall. This will take you back to Sebastian's safe room, and there's going to be some items for you, quite a bit actually, so go ahead and pick everything up. And then you can go in here one last time to the workbench and craft anything you might need. So you'll notice I just picked up some nails. So obviously I'm going to use those to craft an explosive bolt. Like I said, it would help if you had as many pistol rounds as you can, because that's what we're going to be using in the first half of the boss fight. Sniper rifle rounds are really going to be important, and then shotgun shells, which I currently have a full supply of because I did a good job at conserving those. As for the assault rifle, I still have some ammo left over from when I first picked up the weapon, because it's not really a weapon you're going to use a lot. So I wouldn't bother crafting any ammo for that weapon, just use whatever you have. But here we go. So, and the good thing about the Myra boss fight is it actually gives you ammo. Now right here, I just got kind of curious. I was wondering what would happen if I tried to save my game, given that I don't have any saves remaining. And you could see that it wouldn't even give me the option to save my game. So I was just kind of curious as to if it would say something clever like what are you thinking, you can't save anymore, or something like that. But it doesn't really acknowledge that. But yeah, so we're done crafting. You know, I have smoke bolts and shock bolts, but like I said, those really aren't gonna matter in this boss fight. All we really need is all we need is explosive bolts, harpoon bolts, and then our traditional ammo from the guns. But yeah, so we're getting really close to the end of this classic difficulty walkthrough. This was probably the most challenging walkthrough I've ever made, and it's not because, I mean, the game was challenging. Yeah, the game was hard. But from a YouTube standpoint, it was really hard to make this walkthrough because I originally started the walkthrough the day after the game came out, and I originally organized it by chapter, so I had chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and I didn't know the game well enough to know where I should be saving my game, and I just reached a point where I was already at chapter 10 and I had saved my game 5 times. So I ended up stopping that walkthrough, which I've never done before, and then I started this one from scratch, and obviously we're at the end now, so you can tell that this second attempt was successful. Anyway, for the first part of the fight here, we're only going to be using our pistol, and we're going to have to shoot her in the stomach. Now, you'll see a couple of these petrified enemies on the map, and if you destroy them, they'll actually drop ammo. So that's what I'm going to spend the first part of this fight doing, is picking up all of that ammo. Now, you can see right there in her rib cage, this glowing orange light. That's your target. That's her weak point. But before you can actually cause her any damage, you have to shoot the exterior shell away from it. So that's what I'm going to use my pistol for. The reason I'm using my pistol is because you want to save your higher powered weapons for the latter half of the boss fight. Now, this boss fight is not fun, it's not entertaining, but you just have to get through it. It's pretty simple. Her attacks are not that difficult to dodge. You'll see that she just slams her hands down every once in a while. Sometimes she slams them both down. Sometimes she does them in rapid succession. You pretty much just have to run to the side. That's all. So like right here, she's about to swing at me, so I just run to the side. Right here, she swings, I just run. Really, it's not that hard to dodge those attacks. Now, like I said, there are going to be a couple instances where I do take some damage later on, but more often than not, those were just my fault. I either was focusing too much on shooting her that I forgot to pay attention to her attacks, or I just got distracted by something else. It is very possible to do this fight without taking any damage. I think more than anything, I was just nervous because this was my first time doing the fight. But the fact, like I said, that I beat it first try without any practice, I think that kind of speaks to the fact that it's not that challenging of a boss fight. So here she'll slam all 3, so she'll do 3 slams all in rapid succession. But now I'm going to start shooting at her stomach some more. You'll notice right there I ran out of pistol ammo, so I'm going to come over to this body and crack it open. Unfortunately, the game gave me a syringe. Well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, because obviously I take some damage later and I'm going to have to use that syringe. But I really would have preferred to have some ammo, because now I'm going to have to use my sniper rifle, which I did not want to have to use this early in the fight. But like I said, sometimes our plans have to change. Not everything can go according to the original plan. So the sniper rifle is going to have to do the job here. So I'm going to dodge her attack, I'm going to aim, and I'm going to fire. And that's really it. The only thing you have to be careful of is if she does a 3-slam attack, because if she slams down once and then if you stop to aim your weapon, she'll slam down again and hit you. So you do have to be careful. Right there, I would say only shoot her if you're positive you can hit the target. And right there, perfect example of that being my fault. For some reason, at the last second, I thought I needed to run to the right, when instead I just needed to run to the left. So that damage was completely avoidable. That was just completely my fault. I'm sure that you can learn from that and do better than I did. Completely avoidable. Just a stupid mistake. Anyway, we're back to hitting her in the stomach with the sniper rifle. Right there, I was able to pull off 2 shots, and you'll see that once you see that bloody explosion, that will trigger the first. So now the first part of the boss fight is over, and you'll notice all of these spiders in the area. All you're going to want to do is kind of run into the center of the spiders and mash the A button to stomp them. And the spiders are actually a blessing in disguise, because they hardly cause you any damage. So you'll see right here, one of them actually hits me. And I took virtually no damage, but look at all the stuff they dropped. They dropped handgun ammo. They dropped all of this gunpowder. Trust me when I say the spiders are actually helpful. Very helpful. Alright, so now we are in the second part of the fight. In my opinion, this is the hardest part of the fight. She's going to have 2 weak spots on the back of her shoulders, and the reason this is tough is because it's hard to figure out when you can actually hit them. So it turns out the best time to hit them is when she slams down, and then you typically want to be on that respective side. So like right here, she slammed down with her left arm, so I tried to shoot at her left shoulder. It's a little harder, for instance, if she had slammed down with her left arm, and if I was trying to shoot the right shoulder, you could still do it. So like right here, she slammed with her right arm, but I was on her left shoulder side, and you could see that I didn't really have a good vantage point to hit that target. So try to stand on the side that she slams on. You know, obviously it can be hard to predict, but right there, that's her strongest attack. She'll slam down 4 times in a row. So she'll do 1, 2, 3, and then she'll do a double attack. And that's going to be your best opportunity to hit her a lot, because after she does that, she'll stay down for a couple seconds. Now right here, you saw me craft some pistol ammo. That's because she's going to shoot these things out of her. Those things, I don't know what to call them, but they do have spiders inside, and those spiders will emerge. But if you shoot them before that, you can actually not deal with any spiders, and they will drop ammo. So that's like the best of both worlds. You don't have to fight any spiders, but you also get ammo out of the deal. So those two are also kind of blessings in disguise. Alright, so now we're back to the main thing. Since I have some pistol ammo, that's what I'm going to start using. I don't want to use my sniper rifle unless I have to. That's essentially the point here. As long as you can hold out with the pistol, hold out with the pistol. Alright, so here she's going to slam down once. She's going to stop, and I'm going to aim at her shoulders. Looks like I got 3 shots in there. Oh, wow, no, that was like 4 or 5 shots. So the timing is just typically always different. Sometimes when she slams down, she'll only stay down for a second, but you see like that instance, she stayed down for about 5 seconds. Now right there, she did the 4-part attack, so she stayed down even longer, and I was able to get another 4 or 5 shots in there. Another thing I'm doing is notice how this is really important. Notice how I'm kind of alternating between shoulders. I'm not just focusing on only one shoulder. Now, the reason that's helpful, I can't believe I missed that shot. The reason that's helpful is because once you destroy one of those weak spots, her arm will actually come off, and she will grow a new appendage, kind of like a 3rd arm or a tail or something, and that one is a little harder to dodge. So you'll notice right here, the only thing we have to worry about is her 2 arms, which are pretty easy to dodge. So by alternating weak spots, I'm damaging both of them equally, so that by the time I destroy one, the second one will be very nearly destroyed, so I won't have to spend as much time on the fight with the other appendage, if that makes any sense. So I think it's better to just equally distribute the damage right here than to just go all out and only focus on one weak spot. You know, that'll be up to you, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. So I just blew up one of the weak spots. You are going to have to deal with this kind of annoying section similar to something we saw in Chapter 6. So the arm is going to grab you, and you're only going to have a limited amount of time to shoot it. You have to shoot the orange spot. So here we go. I'm just going to fire as fast as I can. You'll have infinite ammo while you're doing this, so don't worry about spending too much. You have to shoot it about 4 or 5 times, and then it will let you go. And so now this is what I was talking about. So say I had focused all of my effort on her left shoulder at the first part of the fight. Well, now I would have to do a lot of damage to the right shoulder. But because I equally distributed the damage, her left shoulder at this moment is very weak, so it's not actually going to take me a lot of time to destroy it. And so you can see here this giant new tail that she just randomly hatched. Now I don't have to worry about that tail as much because the left or the other shoulder is almost dead. So hopefully that makes sense. I wouldn't say it's a necessary strategy. It's just something that I did that obviously worked. It's not, it's not crucial or anything. I just thought it might be a little helpful. Now right here you're going to see these arms pop up. These are the same arms that you might see in Chapter 6 if the white monster spots you. All you have to do when those pop up is just kind of shimmy to the side. You don't even have to sprint, just kind of walk. Now right there again, that was completely my fault. I walked right into that attack. And then right there, that was kind of lucky. I'll admit that was a pretty lucky thing to survive. But again, the only reason that second attack hit me is because I was still recovering from the first attack. And the first attack should not have hit me. That was just a mistake that I made. And then right there, that one I just didn't move out of the way quickly enough. Now I think at this point I'm done taking damage because I'm out of syringes. Or I might take one more hit. But now I'm going to use my explosive bolt. So I haven't used this yet. I'm starting to run pretty low on ammo. And I still have to destroy this last shoulder spot. So there goes the explosive bolt. I was very shocked that did not destroy it, especially given all the damage I've already done to that shoulder. I thought that was a little harsh, but what can you do? So that attack, the only reason I got hit there was because I just didn't see the attack coming. I got distracted, and I just wasn't focused. I think what I was focused on there was I was looking at her shoulder because I thought I had destroyed the shoulder. But I got distracted looking to see if I had actually destroyed it, and that's why the attack ended up hitting me. But here we go. I'm going to resort back to the pistol. And, just same thing. I'm going to try to get this blasted shoulder spot to go away. Now notice, like I said, it's always easier to shoot the weak spot if you're on that respective side. So I'm going to try to stick to the left side of the map here, because then when she slams down, I'll have a better vantage point towards shooting the weak spot. So like you see right here, I ran to the left instead of running to the right. And there we go. The shoulders are done. We are now in the final part of the boss fight, and thankfully this is the easiest part. I've been stressing all video long that you want to save your shotgun ammo, and you've probably been wondering what for. Where are you going to use this shotgun ammo? Right here. This part of the fight is very easy because you can get really close to her. So you see her new weak spot is in her mouth, and she'll slam down her tail, and then all you're going to do is run up. You can get really close, and you can shoot her right in the mouth. So those first shots I missed because I was just nervous. I was trying to learn how it worked. But right here you see she's going to slam down the claw. I'm going to sidestep it, run straight up to her face, and get a couple point-blank shots right in there. I have plenty of shotgun ammo to spare here, so I should be fine. Again, she's going to slam down the claw, run up to the face, and get in the shots. It's really simple. It's a very simple attack to dodge, and you can see just how close I'm getting, so that means I'm doing the maximum amount of damage here. Here we go again. Claw goes down. I run up to the face. Try to get as many shots in as I can. Now I will end up actually running out of shotgun ammo, and that's when I'm going to resort to anything I have left. So sniper rifle, assault rifle, just anything you have. You're so close at this point. And the good thing is the game, believe it or not, the game will actually give you ammo. So right here you're going to see I ran out of shotgun ammo. That again was my mistake. I should not have taken that hit. I just got careless. I stopped paying attention. I was too focused on my ammo, and I wasn't focused enough on the attack. But here we go. So 2 pistol shots. I was really hoping that that would do the trick, especially since I hit her with both of them. At this point, I'm really freaking out, but then I noticed I still had ammo for the assault rifle. Unfortunately, I think, once again, I just got kind of nervous, and I missed a lot of these shots. So you see right here, I just didn't make as much contact as I wanted to, and she's still alive. So at this point, I'm starting to really freak out. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I have nothing left. And you're about to see that what will happen is if you truly run out of ammo, the game is nice enough to give you more. So what's about to happen is the game is going to spawn some more spiders. And so that means you can start stomping away. And as usual, the spiders will drop ammo, and that should be enough to get you through the rest of the fight. If for whatever reason you run out again, just keep dodging the attacks, and then sooner or later more spiders will spawn. But there you see, we did it. We blasted her. She is no more. We're pretty much done with Chapter 16. And like I said, Chapter 17 is really just kind of a joke. It's the easiest chapter of the game. Basically, all you do is you shoot people as Julie Kidman, and it's hard to explain without seeing it, but you're gonna see just how easy it is. It takes no skill at all, none whatsoever, and she even if you get hit with her, like if you get shot, it does virtually like no damage. So you should be just fine during Chapter 17. You really shouldn't have any worry of dying right here. I promise you that. But anyway, go into the house, and I'm going to skip the cutscene. And so here's what we're going to do. You're going to center your screen on an enemy so that when you pop up, the reticle is automatically on that enemy. And then all you're going to do is it's this very jerky fashion. You're just going to pop up and shoot, pop up, shoot really quickly. Do not stay out of cover, otherwise you actually will get shot. But so all you have to do is while you're in cover, center your screen on the enemy. What that will do is when you pop up, the reticle, the aiming reticle, will automatically already be set on that enemy, and then you're just going to shoot. So you can see just how kind of fast and twitchy this is. But you can see I haven't taken any damage, and it's just incredibly easy. It might look difficult just because I'm moving so quickly, but trust me, it's the easiest thing in this game. It is an absolute joke. But anyway, this last chapter, it's going to kind of transition between, so you see right here, it's going to transition between Kidman and Sebastian. You're not actually going to have to fight anyone as Sebastian. This is more of like just kind of the dramatic, cinematic ending. And then with Kidman, we're going to have to go through one more room, and that room is only going to have 3 enemies. Unfortunately, in this room, Kidman seems to pop up a bit slower, which makes things a bit more difficult, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't change much. Alright, so I'm going to skip that cutscene, and here we go. So you can see that she doesn't pop up quite as fast. She kind of has this delayed response, but overall it's the same strategy. You're gonna center your screen on wherever an enemy is standing. If an enemy throws a grenade, just stay down. You don't want to pop up if there's a grenade in front of you, because that could cause some real damage. So whenever you see an enemy throw a grenade, just stay in cover, and it won't hurt you at all. Alright, so here we go. I'm trying to center that screen so that I can just pop up and shoot. And the only reason I'm missing so many of these shots is because I was just trying to get used to the fact that she pops up slower here than she did in the first encounter. But I think the best thing to do is just pick an enemy and focus on only that enemy. So luckily these 2 enemies on the left side, they kind of line up with each other, so you can center your screen in one location and you can essentially hit both of them. But there you see he threw a grenade, so I'm just going to pop back down in cover. Now the first guy is out of the way, so the second guy is going to run up to his position. So now we're going to start fighting this guy as well. Again, same strategy. And as soon as you kill these 2 guys, you will have officially killed all of the enemies in this game. There will be no more threats. All you're going to have to do is finish the game. And then the achievement or trophy will be yours. You will have successfully beat this game on the hardest difficulty. Classic mode is something that I never again want to revisit. I just did not have fun. And it's a shame because, you know, with the Kumu mode on the first game, it was so hard, but I had a blast. I had so much fun doing it. I have a friend named Chris who had already beaten the game on Akumu, and him and I formed a pretty good friendship because of our mutual love for the game and for Akumu difficulty, and we were able to always talk about it and share opinions and strategies and things like that. Classic difficulty, we just both complain about it. It's just awful. It's just not fun. At the end of the day, you want a challenge to be challenging, but you also want to have fun doing it. There's a very fine line there, and I think it's probably, you know, to the developer's credit, it's one of the hardest things to do in making a video game is to make a good challenge. I think that's one of the hardest, you know, because how do you make it from being too difficult to where you lose the fun versus just too easy and not much of a challenge at all? I think it's very hard, and so I do, you know, cut the developers some slack. But in this case, for Evil Within, I just don't think there's any excuse because in the first game, they nailed it. Akumu mode was beautiful. It was just the perfect difficulty. And, you know, if it's not broken, you don't fix it. So I don't know why they thought they had to change it in this game. I think it's the worst decision they made in this game. In an otherwise very enjoyable game, The Evil Within 2 is a fantastic game if you're not playing on classic difficulty. In fact, if you're playing on nightmare mode, I assume it would be a very, very satisfying and fun challenge. But unfortunately, classic mode with the limited saves, it just really kind of it just tears you down. It really exhausts you. I am happy that I'm through it, but I'm not necessarily satisfied. I'm just happy that I'm done with the torture. But anyway, guys, just run towards the light. I know typically you don't want to run towards the light because that's how you die, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm near the end of a 40-minute video. I'm getting a little tired. But so this final part, it just wouldn't let me skip it right away. But eventually it will let me skip it, and we're pretty much done with the game, guys. That's it. This walkthrough has generated a lot of new audience members to my channel. My subscriber count has been going up a lot. The view counts have been going up a lot. And here we go. This is the final kind of rewards sequence. So you're going to get to see my statistics, which I'm actually pretty damn proud of. So check this out. Classic mode, clear time of 5.5 hours, or no, 5 hours and 50 minutes. There's the achievement. You asked for it again. Completed the game in classic mode. I'll also right now be getting the achievement for beating the game on nightmare mode. I used all 7 saves, and that's it, guys. So for those of you new to the channel, I really hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. I hope you stick around for future content. If you're ever looking for fun, hardest difficulty walkthroughs, feel free to browse my channel. I have a lot of games built up in there. For those of you who have been with the channel for a while, thank you for joining in on this walkthrough. I hope you enjoyed it as well. As always, thank you for your continued support. It means a lot to me, especially in this walkthrough. I really did want to quit this walkthrough, but it was kind of your guys' support that kept pushing me to finish it. But here you can see all of my rewards: infinite ammo, brass knuckles. Going through New Game Plus to get all the achievements is going to be an absolute breeze now. Anyway, guys, thank you once again for watching. I think that's all I have to say. Another walkthrough bites the dust, and I'll see you in the next one.